Good morning and thanks for being here. We're joined at the Spokane Service Center this morning by Jean, the director of this center, and also Tony Lee?
Tony Lee.
Nice, Tony Lee Hansen, the EnviroStars manager for this very special presentation. Today we're proud to announce that our Fleet Service Department has been recognized as an EnviroStar for its work to protect the environment by properly managing and reducing hazardous material and waste. We've received the 5-star certification that you see right here, which is their highest certification level possible for the program. Within our utilities and our organization, we're financially and environmentally responsible. This certification is part of that work. The city is investing more than $300 million in work to improve the health of the Spokane River. That work includes our new combined sewer overflow tanks, a $125 million upgrade to our water reclamation facility. Over just the past 2 months, those 2 new tanks have diverted nearly 7 million gallons of stormwater away from the river during large weather events. Previously, the stormwater would have been dumped untreated directly into the river. Properly handling the oil and chemicals used in this facility supports that work. It means those chemicals won't contaminate our river or our underground aquifer. It means also that our Fleet Services Department is the first non-business organization to receive EnviroStars certification. Typically, the program is designed to demonstrate environmental stewardship to potential customers who also value such stewardship. At the city, we hope our commitment to protecting the environment will resonate with our citizens and with those who will move to visit our community. It is our goal to be an example for other organizations and businesses. Our Fleet Services Department is responsible for maintaining about 1,500 vehicles, from police cars to garbage trucks to wastewater Vector trucks. Improving the way we handle any waste while that fleet is serviced and maintained protects our drinking water and helps us to get to a cleaner river faster. At this time, I'm going to hand it over to Tony Lee Hansen to tell us about the 5-star certification and EnviroStars mission.
Thank you, Mayor Condon. So the EnviroStars mission really is to bring a cleaner environment through responsible practices from businesses, and we are so proud of the City of Spokane for being that first non-business that's stepping forward and providing a cleaner environment through its best practices here in this wonderful state-of-the-art facility, which Jean has really worked very hard to bring into fruition. We're part of a statewide organization called EnviroStars, but we're the Spokane EnviroStars, and we're a combination of a number of agencies really working to protect the environment. And the things that were done here are possible in all sorts of other cities, and so we would hope that the county, other municipalities, other fleet services businesses will take the example from the mayor of the city of Spokane and from Jean, and really look at how they can protect our environment as well by keeping those oils off of our streets, by properly maintaining the vehicles. There was a lot more than just the oils, though. They've instituted new practices. And this building itself is one of the best practices in really being state-of-the-art. I want to just really congratulate Mayor Condon and Jean for their work on becoming EnviroStars certified, and that 5-star certification that's also about conserving resources and about best management practices and leadership. The leadership that actually says to this community, we care about our river and our aquifer, and we're doing our part to really protect it. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Tony Lee, for being here this morning and really having this recognition. It truly is an honor at the City of Spokane to be recognized for doing what we believe is the right thing for our community and those who visit Spokane. I'd now like to invite our Director of Fleet Services and really talk about how this facility has improved the way his team works every day. Gene?
Thank you, Mayor. Well, we are very proud to be able to have achieved this rating. It really is a combination of the policies and the procedures we follow, handling our waste and how we maintain equipment and handle our parts inventories, and the ability to do the things that we need to do with our new state-of-the-art facility which was built to LEED certifications, so it's energy efficient. We try to be as clean and energy and environmentally responsible as possible. That's really all. Are there any questions on what we're doing to get here?
Can you just talk specifically on what benchmarks you guys had to reach in order to get this certification?
Actually, they looked at a number of things that we do. We want to make sure that we know how we handle our waste products, to make sure that none of that gets into the environment, what kind of cleaning solutions and that we use, how we handle our parts inventories and make sure that any of our hazardous substances don't get spilled or put into the environment in any way. All of our lubrication products are secondarily contained and inventoried. That's probably the biggest things. Am I missing anything?
Everything's labeled so that everybody knows, and your employees have been educated on what needs to be done to make sure they're handled properly. They bought special valves to keep, if something got spilled, that would be a no-spill valve so that it doesn't end up on the floor and in the aquifer and in the water.
And of course, all the drains in this facility go into a waste oil water separator, so none of that reaches the environment.
Does it just mean you get to put stamps on it, or what else does it mean for the city going forward?
Well, as the mayor said, we're proud to be just part of the city and enabling to be environmentally responsible and energy efficient, and hoping that that moves into private sector and that we can set the example for that for other industries. Anything else? Thank you.
Whoops, excuse me.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
Mayor.
that's all right. Thanks, Gene, and thanks to your team, and we'll take a picture afterwards with the certificate, if that's all right. All right. Well, like we always do, we're going to switch subjects now.
All right.
So, joining me at the podium now is Andre Wicks. We are in Northeast Spokane at one of the major employing areas. We were just talking to city staff. Hundreds of our city employees work on this facility. Of course, we're in this one in particular with some 38 employees, but we are on the complex that has many of our great city's employees, from streets to parks to this, our Central Fleet Center, and so many from our solid waste departments start and end their day here as they fuel up and go out and collect our citizens' garbage. But we're changing subjects now. Andre Wicks is from Spokane Public Schools, and we are announcing today an exciting partnership that has been in place now for some time. We took the unprecedented step in this year's budget to co-fund a position really to look at a holistic approach for Northeast Spokane. And that step forward is an amazing step for the neighborhoods here in the Northeast. Our application for the Promise Zone will be submitted today. This partnership with Spokane Public Schools and many others in our community, and really does look at things holistically. Andre leads the Promise Zone effort in the Spokane Public Schools. The Promise Zone is a holistic and historic investment that will create new opportunities for youth in our community. This holistic approach to education, employment, and social services is transforming our neighborhoods in Northeast Spokane. I just participated in one of those meetings just last week, and to see 100+ people gathered at our one of our Spokane Public Schools in Northeast, and to see that collaboration and really as we move forward. You can feel the energy and enthusiasm as I was in that meeting and really looking at opportunities that we will gain from this designation. I'm going to ask Andre for a moment now to talk a little bit about the Promise Zone and the applications and the next steps for our community. Andre?
Thank you, Mayor Condon. You said it all, almost. As Mayor Condon said, this process of building the zone project in Northeast Spokane and the intent to apply for a Promise Zone designation today marks the end of about 2.5 years of preparation across sectors of education, business, health, housing, reducing violent crime, economic developments, and really, even more importantly, around resident engagement. The process of building a holistic plan really was around the idea of us recognizing that if we're going to create significant change, that we need to change the way that we do business. And part of that was around collaborating in a way that as a community we haven't done before to this level. The mayor spoke of the cost-shared position, the cost-sharing that funds my position, which is something new. And it's that kind of investment, it's that kind of thinking that has sparked this initiative. I really have to take a moment to thank hundreds of people and over 100 organizations that have bought into this process of creating a shared vision, arriving at a common agenda, so that we can help Northeast Spokane be the thriving community it has the potential to be. Today we do submit our Promise Zone proposal. About 3,100 hours over the last 2.5 years of collective man hours have gone into collecting data, surveying the neighborhoods, collecting the kind of information that we believe we needed to be competitive and to win a Promise Zone designation. If we do win, we'll find out probably in about 3 months if HUD follows the protocol that has occurred over the last 2 rounds. Probably in about June, we'll find out if we were successful in getting designated. Some of the perks or the benefits of a community being designated, first and foremost, is the process of applying. I cannot underestimate or overestimate the time and the work that it's taken to create a proposal that really is strong and competitive. In that process has created the level of collaboration that we need, regardless of designation, to be successful in our efforts for revitalizing Northeast Spokane. Perks of the Promise Zone include the fact that it's a 10-year designation. It's not a short-lived opportunity. Preference points in 12 different categories of federal funding. We get to hire some people. We get to hire 5 VISTA volunteers, technical assistants, and business incentives for businesses to locate in and hire from within the Promise Zone. So all in all, without being too long-winded, this is a fantastic opportunity for our community. I do thank Mayor Condon for his investments that has really encouraged the investment of a multitude of organizations and individuals across our community. So thank you.
Before you go, can you talk about why Northeast Spokane, out of all of the areas in Spokane, why Northeast?
Absolutely. To be able to apply for Promise Zone designation, the number one criteria is around poverty. And not that there isn't poverty in other pockets of Spokane, but Northeast Spokane was chosen because of the broad footprint of poverty that exists there. To be competitive for the Promise Zone application, though, it can't just be about poverty, and we also chose Northeast Spokane because of the assets that exist there. With the community college, universities, multitude of churches, 13 schools, healthcare centers, there really is a lot to build off of, and so our proposal will be able to not only demonstrate the need, but the capacity to be able to see this kind of change. Yeah.
If the city is chosen and everything goes perfectly, 10 years from now, what will Northeast Spokane look like? How will it be different?
Right. That's a really good question. I talk a lot about an ecosystem. And without getting too complicated, basically, an ecosystem thrives or dies based off of how well all of the organisms within that ecosystem are helping each other, contributing to each other, and that really is what the Promise Zone is all about. It's about being aware of how systems work together, being aware of the assets that live within an area, and creating mutually beneficial relationships between those systems, organizations, and people. Northeast Spokane will be reflected positively in this process if we're able to increase educational outcomes, if we're seeing more students that are college direct and persisting throughout college. We'll see a great reduction in violent crime. We'll see people that are healthier. Right now, 5 neighborhoods in Northeast Spokane are among the top neighborhoods in the county for mortality rate. People don't live as long in Northeast Spokane. We'll see more living wage jobs, and what I mean by living wage is enough money to be able to support your family. And all of those things will be impacted. Again, I share a cross-section of outcomes that would reflect whether or not the community is thriving because of that interdynamic and interdependent relationship that each one of those plays on each other.
Does anybody know how much money could be coming into this area?
Yeah. So I've been able to develop strategically good relationships with 5 of the current designated communities across the country. Part of what I've learned from those communities is that while the Promise Zone is not a grant, and so there's no money outright, what it does is greatly increase the likelihood of achieving or obtaining federal grant money. And so the range between the 5 communities that I know of new money within the first year of being designated ranges from about $12 million up to $100 million in new money. So again, significant opportunity.
Where are those other communities?
The communities that I've been in contact with are San Antonio, the Kentucky Highlands, Los Angeles, most recently Minneapolis. Pardon me?
Indianapolis.
And Indianapolis. Thank you.
Are we confident that we're going to get it?
Absolutely. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. Yep.
Thank you, Andre.
Awesome. Thank you.
You know, and Andre spoke about this, he's been working on this for a couple years now, and more than a couple years. It was last year that I visited with the HUD secretary, actually the assistant secretary, on this issue, and also the CEO of the Corporation for Community Service, who the VISTA volunteers, or the VISTA positions, excuse me, come from, and also several of the other mayors, whether it be Mayor Nutter from Philadelphia most recently, and also Mayor Greg Ballard from Indianapolis. And what's interesting, both of those mayors are no longer in office, and I think it speaks to the foundation that this designation out of the Obama administration really says, that this is a 10-year commitment, but also, as I spoke with the CEO of the Corporation for Community Service, she also heads up the President's Council on Intergovernmental working together, and how do you bring the different agencies together, from healthcare to education to workforce development to human services, and that's what this is about. I'll finish with, it was this type of thinking that led us to announce in the State of the City address this year that we'll be looking at district management initiative, and that is managing our city by district. And then as I've gone to the meetings that Andre has hosted amongst the different assets that are in each part of our community, the last one I was sitting with a senior from North Central High School and with one of their assistant principals, and of course they're on the other side of division, and so they were at the last meeting finding out how could we do the same on that side of our community. And that's exactly the type of thinking and why we are, and on my final comments this morning, are on that community conversation. We announced the city, or we started the State of the City address a week ago Friday. But this is a month-long conversation that continues, and one of the major initiatives is on the district management initiative of really managing by our 3 council districts, of partnering with our council members and really looking at the issues that are facing that part of the city. So these discussions continue. The South Hill Library, Monday, February 29th, and then the Hilliard Library on Tuesday, March 1st. Both of those are at 6 p.m. The city is seeking feedback on the progress we've made, the opportunities ahead, and our community's priorities. Nearly 6,000 people joined us this last Thursday night for a town hall discussion broadcasted live on City Cable 5 and also on the telephone. Topics range from street improvements to the redevelopment of Riverfront Park to the latest in the search for the new police chief. Participants joined the discussion by telephone, on social media, and in person in the City Council chambers. Another 20 or so joined the discussion at the Shadle Park Library last Wednesday evening. So again, more information is available at SpokaneCity.org. If people are unable to join us in person on one of these nights, you can send us your thoughts in those 3 areas at Vision2020 at SpokaneCity.org. Again, you can email us at Vision2020 at SpokaneCity.org or submit right on our website below the State of the City blog. So thank you for being with us this morning. A great morning with our partnership with those at from the EnviroStar designation. Congratulations to our team. We know this is just the beginning. You continue to do this work. We're very excited to and about the application for the Promise Zone. And again, we ask our citizens if they want to continue on these discussions or any others to join us over the next week. With that, I'll take any questions.
A week from today, the City Council will discuss a resolution sponsored by Ben Stuckert and Mike Fagan opposing the Trans-Pacific Partnership. I wonder if you have any thoughts on the resolution or the TPP itself.
First of all, on any of these federal issues, I've taken the position that we're well represented by our state and federal legislators. And I think as we look at, I have not seen the actual resolution and what part and position it takes. But with that said, I support our federal delegation, our 2 senators and congresswomen, to look at all points of view across the district and render the right decision for us. Thank you very much. So can we have the fleet team up here and we'll take a quick picture? All right, thank you.